Thanks for tuning in to Healthy Planet One, where we discuss healthy living from experts in each of their fields. This is your host, Patricia Starr.
And your co-host, Kimberly Knox.
Today's guest on Healthy Planet One is Sherry Lord. And we'll be talking about lots of interesting things about angels, guides, and auras. So, Sherry, I just want to welcome you on our show and really looking forward to hearing from you about what you're up to and a little bit about your history and how in the heck you got started with this. This is so interesting because I know you are an international traveler and speaker, and you have, in fact, the way you were introduced to me is one of the best psychics or mediums in the world. So let's carry on. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in this.
Well, it was interesting. I really knew nothing about this. I was not in the metaphysical world. I wasn't surrounded with that. I was just working, living my life, having a family. And then things changed. One day, one of my friends asked me to come in and see a reader, and I've never seen one before. So I was kind of like interested, but kind of skeptical. And I went there, and she said, there's people up north that will help you. And I lived in Michigan at that time, and I was in Cadillac. And I didn't know what she meant by that. But when I left there, an interesting thing happened. I was driving on 75, and all of a sudden an angel appeared. And I couldn't explain it. It was huge, and it was so calming and loving. And from that day forth, my life changed. It was never the same.
You said an angel appeared, and you were driving.
In a vision. When I was driving, I could see it as I was driving, and my eyes were open. And I literally, as I was driving, I was in awe. And it was an experience because I came from the corporate world. I worked in the aftermarket in the engineering department and for automotive products, making the pre-filled hydraulic clutch systems. So this was totally different for me. And like I said, I was not aware of anything about intuition or any of that. But I know when I was younger, I've always had it and I didn't know it. I would get lottery numbers, like I'd see a number 315 and in my head, but I thought it was me making it up. And when I play, I'd win. I did that often. And then you get on with life and all of that, and it was fun. So I realize now, from that moment when I left seeing that reader, my life totally changed. There were so many things happening that I could not explain. So I decided to get an angel book. And there's not too many stores up there that are like what we had downstate or anything. So I found a higher self bookstore. We're divinely guided. And I told this lady everything that was happening to me. And she goes, oh, you need to come to this class. So coming from a corporate world, my husband owned a business as well when we were up north. I worked the office too, and he worked the production part. I had my dress, my skirt on, and my briefcase ready for class. And I walk in and get my angel book, and everybody sitting in a circle with jeans and T-shirts. So I felt really like, what the heck did I just do? What is this? I had my first meditation, and I could see chakras. I didn't know what they were. I just knew they were lit up colors going down my whole being. And since that day, I wanted to read. I was seeking. And within 3 years, I was teaching. I was doing readings, and I dedicated my life to it. I knew how it helped me, and I also know how it helps people. And it's really, really important to really meditate. Meditation is a big part of it. Like I said, I love what I do. But you master yourself, and then my guides teach me now. My angels teach me. I had a lot of wonderful teachers. I got a lot under my belt over the 3 years. Then it was time for me to do my work and come into my own gifts and the way I do it and tweak it and go deeper with my guides and let them teach me. And that's where the flowing liquid light healing modalities came from. I channel that in deep trance. I'm both a psychic intuitive and a deep trance, and there is a difference. As a psychic intuitive, I can see auras, angels, guides, and loved ones who passed. It's always been natural since the day I started to do readings. Over the years, I had images of being in a trance state on stage. I thought it was teachings. Well, apparently it was deep trance. It was part of my past. So when I met Namara, who is a group collective that I channeled Namara for over 15 years, and then we go through change. And now Namara introduced me to Aeroth. It's a new guide who's the spokesperson on the behalf of my group collective. But I like to help people to really connect and go more inward, because deliberately meditate. We can meditate driving. We can meditate when we're going for a walk. Those you want to do. But to deliberately sit down and calm the mind and go inward, there's so many blessings there and connections, and you can tap into your own gifts, and it's empowering and it guides you in life. And I teach to become friends with your guides, to get to know them, not just know there's Michael and there's Raphael. Go in deeper and really get them to be your friend. Become friends with them, like you have your friends in your physical world. And you can really see, and when you're driving, you really know who's with you. You know, some people go, oh, I know Michael's here. And, you know, get to know your guides. Get to know them. It's so empowering and it's so helpful. But I didn't always see auras. I've always seen energy. I've always got to see inside the body. And then one day when I was doing readings, I was determined to see auras. And I was strong as a clairvoyant, and its hearing and everything else was really intact. But one day when I said I'm going to see auras, I went down the hall after doing a reading. There's a mirror. I close my eyes and I say, what color is my aura? I did that for 5 days. The next day I sat down with the client, I was seeing auras. And I've seen auras ever since then. And what I was told by my angels and guides was that it was a doormatted ability. I didn't use it. It wasn't a strong ability. It doesn't mean we don't have it. We all have it within us. You just have to develop it and trust. Trust is the key. Trust is the key. Trusting yourself. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, you know, it's really interesting, Sherry, because if our listeners, making the transition, and if I may kind of reel back a little bit, making the transition from the corporate thinking, like walking into that room and going, I think I'm in the wrong place because I'm
Yes, that's exactly what I thought. I didn't know what the heck I just signed up for.
So how did you make that transition into really accepting there's a whole nother realm that you're talking about? And how did that actually help you with what you were dealing with in your life at that time?
I think being in the corporate world or a business, I took that in when I was going. What happened for me, my life was changing and my relationship started to change. Not everybody has to get a divorce because you're changing, but this was a decision I made to move forward. I couldn't grow if I stayed. So I was going through a divorce at that time too.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I was doing all of that, I decided to dedicate my life to this because I felt such passion for it. But I also knew I needed to make a living from it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And credibility with it. So I treated it as a business. And as I was guided and in my meditations, they kept telling me, you're international, you're going to be traveling all over. Well, back then I was only at 2 stores, you know. So you have to take that leap of faith and trust what you get. And then new stores, I was just coming out of my comfort zone. And it's okay to be nervous in the unknown. That's part of our humanness. But you just have to do it. You just have to take that leap. But like I said, I was so wanting to know more. So I learned everything I could. And we're always guided to who we need to be with at the time where we are. And I had a lot of support and understanding to value what I offer. I think this is a key. Value what you offer. Value you.
Well,
And
that's beautiful.
And I think it's important. You got to value what you offer and treat it as that. And even people have a hard time charging money for this. I found that when I was doing this, and I thought that was very interesting. And it goes back to loving yourself and valuing you. And just set the intention of what you want to charge and just focus on what you love and helping people. Then everything else will come around you if you're just focusing on service. And you just set the intention. Those people that are guided to you consciously will come to you. But yeah, you really have to value you. People have a hard time with that in the spiritual realm. I go, you know what? We live in this world and it's not given away. You know, it's okay to help people, to help a friend, but you really have to value it and treat it as a business.
Okay. And you've been doing this for 18 years, I understand. Is that right?
Yes. And I
So
love
you've
it. It's
learned a
never
lot
boring.
along
It's
the
always
way,
something
haven't
new.
you? Yeah, and you've also written articles, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, for the Coastal Life magazine, and I've written them for a couple for the Natural Awakening. I've done a lot of radio. I did my very first radio was Live Chicago on the Linda P show, and I knew that this was a past life. It was so natural. I wanted to do more.
Uh-huh.
And I just had a lot of fun. I always say, no matter what you do, have fun, love what you do. That's where you soar. That's
I
where you
love
soar.
that. Yeah, and I love that that you mentioned about the importance of value, how we
It
need to
is.
value. And people sometimes people have a sense that they have maybe some abilities, but they're not always willing to go there. Do you work with people like that, Sherry?
Yeah, and the thing is, and I help them. I teach the teachers. You get what I'm saying? And I teach and I help people get there. It's nothing more important to me to empower someone and let them understand why they're not allowing themselves to receive this. And it's usually it's low self-esteem. They're afraid no one's going to pay them for what they're doing, and that they're not good enough. There's all kinds of issues around it, and you have to look at your own belief system and change it. When you change your own beliefs, you change your whole reality. When you get it, you shift from it. But yeah, a lot of people, and once I guide them to understand how the importance of the exchange of energy is, and they start to actually go in that direction, it makes me smile because now they're doing the work. Now they can make a living from it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that because
Mm-hmm.
you got to talk about there's a lot of beliefs in many lifetimes, and lifetimes way back in the ADs that was just energy exchange. We don't do it that way in this lifetime. We can still help someone and offer something to them, but we live where it's all about money. Everything is how we circulate and how we live. You got to pay your bills. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't stop. And people have a belief because it's spiritual and it's free that you can access it, but they mastered it and they're to help others to master it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me
They're to help
ask you,
others.
you say you've been channeling Namara. Now, let's talk about that a little bit because I know a lot of people are familiar with Abraham Hicks, which is also
Yes,
channeling an energy body. And
it's
tell us
similar. Yep.
tell us a lot about that and who these people are or these entities and how they are here to help us and how they've helped you and your clients.
Absolutely. They've helped me spread my wings. Namara, like I said, is a spokesperson on the behalf of a group collective. I'm not present when they come through. That's the difference with Deep Trance. I'm totally gone with my guides, and Namara speaks through me. So when they come to me and I'm teaching Namara or doing a private session with Namara is a one-on-one or a group workshop, Namara is the one that's actually speaking. It is not Sherry. And what they're here to do is to help humanity evolve consciousness, to help them go beyond what we know. They also hold the tone of creation. So they've helped me a lot in understanding how to create effectively. And I just listen, and it's been wonderful. Their teachings, I have a lot on CDs of them. And then Namara just last year introduced me to Aeroth. Aeroth is a new guide who has now replaced Namara as of last year. But Namara is still part of my group collective. I still connect with Mara. I still consult with Mara because it took me 18 years to build a really beautiful relationship with Namara of trust. When you're in a deep trance, you don't know what's going to be said, So, and now I'm getting to know Aeroth, and he brings in a lot about the presence, the peace, shifting the consciousness of humanity. We're headed into so much unlimitedness and infinite new ways in life, and we have to be open to that. New ways of doing things. And they
Uh-huh.
also taught me about wealth. It's we all go through life about money. A lot of people have money issues, and it's an energy. And I've been told that for how many years? Money is energy, but it never shifted me until one day they had a situation for me with someone come in the door at one of the stores I was at, and she wanted to sell her condo, and immediately Namara came in and I knew they were there, and they said, wealth is simply a frequency. Align with the wealth frequency. That shifted me when they said frequency, because imagine everything has an energy. A rock has an energy, but it's a different vibration. A car has a different energy. Each of our souls have a different vibration. So when they said align with the wealth frequency,